drift. Choppy, bizarre edits, and an even weirder choice to leave out everybody's powers until the conclusion would leave any fan scratching their head on this one. Street Fighter has turned into a barely tolerable comedy that even the nostalgia age can't save. Thank you.
Oh, that was good. That had to have been probably one of the most entertaining little intros to the movie that we've had in a while. That was good.
Thank you. So first, I wanted to ask what Tiny thinks of this, because I didn't know he had never seen this film, so it was a first watch for him. So
really,
yeah, I want to know, like, in your headspace now as a grown man, looking, watching this for the first time, what are your thoughts on it?
Fuck, dude. Street Fighter 1994. There's things I could pick apart, but it's just short, dude, and short, like, to where I can't even touch my toes, dude. Like, fuck, dude. Like, like, fuck, dude. Like, some things worked. Like you said, a lot of characters were fucking underused compared to, like, their video game counterpart, and reduced to, like, just basically nothing, and a lot of things just didn't go the way it should have. Like you said, they probably didn't dig into the script, but as a grown man and into cheesebag films, dude, I kind of enjoyed it, dude. I could sit through this and watch it again, but as the video game-esque type kind of guy, they just failed on that part, in my opinion, for the movie. But I guess what the video game has to offer wouldn't, I guess, do that well for a movie, because you need to have a story. You just can't have fucking Mortal Kombat, which came after, a year after this? So you just can't be like, I don't know, you can't just keep that formula. I don't know. They probably could have. Maybe if they, in my opinion, since this is so early and they use the older video game style where Bison was the unplayable boss, and they just went for that, where there was only like 5 main characters. They did throw the extras that came in later on from the old Street Fighter, like Balrog and stuff like that. But I don't know. For this film, I think it's now old. It's not memorably nostalgic for some people. I did like certain scenes that were just way overdone and dry, dude, as Bob's Burgers would say. Basically, like, the fighting sequences are horrible, like, literally fucking, and I just hated that Van Damme always finishes a movie with the same fucking kick. I just hated that, dude.
Bravo.
Yeah, dude, I was just like, fuck, he ends the movie like that again, huh? and I'm so disappointed that Ryu and Ken weren't the main focuses, with fucking Blood In, Blood Out's fucking
Damien Chop, yeah.
Damien Chop, they could have, like, underused acting right there. He did do well, and he was pretty funny, because Ken Masters kind of a funny guy sometimes in the animated versions. But yeah, dude, I can't. I could see why it's 10%, but, like, I could see why guys like Vic would hold on to this very dear, because it was the first Street Fighter, you know what I mean? Like, what else are you gonna do? Besides, I guess now make a fucking brand new one, like the new Mortal Kombat that's coming out. I think there's totally room to build a revamped version of this, but I think now that they have so many characters, like, they could focus on a different story. The story lacks a lot. It's just fucking, I guess, because in the world of Street Fighter, it's mostly based on countries and shit, and they're fighting, and they use that kind of well. So for me, it should have been like Warfighter or something. I don't know, for this movie. But I guess for the story, like, they used fucking what's his name? Sagat? Is it Sagat?
Sagat
as a freaking cocaine lord and shit, like a gun handler. I'm not too sure if in his the animated version he was like that, but he was more of a kickboxer fighter. And I think they didn't touch more on the styles of the fighters. I wish they like got into that, because that's what like the game was about. Like E Honda, obviously a sumo wrestler, and he kind of I did like the odes from the film. He did do his attack. He did do the spam click. You just press one button and he hits you with his hands, the palm of his hands. You did see kind of an ode to Ryu doing the Hadouken, not necessarily a fucking beam and a ball or an energy ball, but they did do an ode. Some things that were cheesy, like I think I'm going back into the Van Damme versus Bison fight. You just see something awkward happen. It cuts to camera, and then you just see Raul Julia just fly into a screen, like purposely throws himself into it, which I thought it was hilarious. I was like, no way that people are gonna like imagine 1994 releasing this. I guess I don't know how you can handle that, dude. Like it's like fucking first. It's the first Street Fighter film, and I guess you would have to take it as is. I do love Street Fighter to the utmost, and I just think if they redid it, it would be twice as better. There's just so many actors right now that could fit these roles. But right now, Raul Julia, for me, did really good acting as Bison, in my opinion, especially for fighting cancer. One thing that threw me off was fucking Zangief and his fucking Sharpie fucking scars, and I guess they made him kind of into an idiot because he's like a wrestler style fighter. I loved Vega in this. He had like a super comic accurate. I guess it's not hard to do, but it looked pretty awesome. And who else? Fucking Blanca, dude. I thought that was fucking Lou Ferrigno, dude. I was like, what the fuck did they do?
Oh yeah, Blanca is a big problematic character in this.
Oh my God.
I was just like, what kind of cheat? Like, this isn't even cheeseball anymore. It's just like, you guys aren't even trying. You know what I mean? Like, first of all,
that character was such a letdown.
Yeah, it was just like, all right. Bison realizes that Carlos Blanca, one of the hostages, is a close friend of Guile's. And then he's like, all right, take him to the laboratory. We're going to fucking, do this Clockwork Orange shit and, show him a bunch of violent stuff and create him into this crazy killer, machine killer pretty much. And then they start the mutagen stuff, but then they just pull out these like really, how do you say, cliche, like, IV drips that say mutagen because we're stupid and we need to see that it says mutagen with a green, IV drip. It's like, really, guys? And then when they mutate him, he's like not buff, like, you know what I mean? Like
the same guy
with like
forehead.
Yeah, with like a reconstrued kind of structural skull, and then like his orange hair. It's just like so off-putting. Like, really,
they
guys?
Just eyebrows, dude. The eyebrows. I was like, bro, I think even he looks better in the fucking video game, dude. He actually looks normal in some ways compared to this.
Yeah, dude. or scary, because I feel like Blanca, when you come out, they build you up to, all right, this guy's gonna go on a fucking killing spree type of thing, and Blanca is chewing on your face and electrocuting you and shit in the video game, so you have a certain standard of what you're expecting to see, and then this guy comes out and he's like, they literally look like they didn't try whatsoever. They're like, let's paint him green, and that's it.
And they didn't really go over the top with the characters. Like in the fucking cartoons and the animated version, they could probably punch through walls and shit, and they didn't really go that far, which was probably better for this time. But I guess if they redid it, they could fucking fully go full blown, dude. Like,
no, I get why they wouldn't have they didn't want to go like straight for the powers. They were trying to make it grounded, but it's like, all right, then why do they all of a sudden have these powers at the end? You know what I mean? And then another question I have is, they introduced Dalsum as the scientist, and you're like, okay, like, all right, he's like, I kind of see it. And then at the end, it's like they deleted some scenes, because then when he decides that he's going to go with Blanca and take care of him or whatever, he's just like, doesn't have clothes on and his head shaved, and it's like, all right, like, what, did I miss something? You know, and I watched it twice because I was like, did I nod off and I missed what happened to Dalsum? But they just don't tell you.
I did the same thing. I rewound it like at least I think like 15, 20 minutes to see if like maybe I missed a scene. and I'm like, wait, why is he different now? I don't understand. Oh my, yeah, that was horrible, like cutscenes and like, I don't know, just planning overall, like, didn't make sense. And yeah. I mean, isn't Guile supposed to be like an American soldier?
That's what I'm saying, is like, you cast Van Damme, one of the very few actors who can't turn off his accent, like, for...
Oh my god.
And dye his fucking hair like the worst type of blonde, like 90s.
It's like orange blonde almost.
The 90s blonde, dude, raver style. Dude, he was going straight like, like, you might as well just throw the Mortal Kombat fucking song on real quick. But fucking...
He's got that ugly, that like American flag like stencil on his arm.
That just looks completely fake.
It's like, let's just paint this on real quick.
It's like a little kid temporary tattoo, pretty much.
Yeah.
I think because Van Damme was like hot at the time, so it was like, fuck it. This is his movie now. And I was like, they could have totally... I hope they have branched off to more stories on the other people, but it just didn't happen. That's probably what the letdown was. They never going to make a sequel to this unless they somehow do.
They did. They did,
right?
What is it called? Street Fighter, The Legend of Chun-Li. And it came out like in, I want to say 2008, 2009. And that movie, and they had the better, you know what I mean? They can't blame it on the 90s. It's a contemporary film. It's still garbage, man. If you want to waste your time and check it out, if you don't believe me, but it's garbage. Chris Klein is in it I don't know why they chose him, but it's just like, it failed. It failed at the box office again.
And just like the DC versus Marvel thing, this is like the Mortal Kombat versus Street Fighter. Like, this is totally like the opposite, like the other version. You know what I mean? Like, you got to get somebody that cares about this, dude, the next time, that really can put the effort for people that love it. I'm pretty sure there's someone out there, and it's just that they saw this probably and like, we can't do this yet. We can't fucking make. And then they saw the Legend of Chun-Li, which also was disappointing. There's just movies that you can't really mention. That's why I was like, I didn't bother taking my time to watch it at all.
Oh man!
For I guess fucking sakes of cheesebag movies, I can watch it, dude. Like, there's nothing. If there's movies that I've brought to the show that were straight cheeseball, but it felt like a little more than this, you know?
Oh, definitely, definitely. Because this is like, they weren't intending to be that type of movie. It just became that type of movie. Do you feel what I'm saying? Like it was unintentionally turned into that, and that's what I feel like people aren't into. Also, I wanted to say, before I asked James what he thought of the movie, because we still haven't done that, that I believe that as bad as both of the Mortal Kombat movies are, they're better than this. Definitely.
Oh, yeah.
So, James.
Yeah.
You've been a little quiet. What did you think of? When's the last time you watched this? And what did you think? Man. What did you think rewatching it? Any thoughts?
I want to say probably I was maybe Jordan's age. So maybe around 7 or 8 was probably the last time I watched the entire movie.
Okay.
And then maybe back when I was in maybe like middle school or high school, at home, you know, catching a couple of minutes of it, maybe 10, 15 minutes of it while going through TV, and like stopping and being like, oh crap, I forgot they made this movie.